Good afternoon, everyone. This week's Parsha of Shlach is based upon certain ideas which Chazal emphasized to us regarding people and events and how we judge them. Chazal say, "B'derech she'adam rotze leilech molichinosa," that in the road that people want to go, that's the road that heaven, so to speak, guides them, pushes them on. What Chazal meant here is that if people have predisposition, they've made up their minds, so then there's no use arguing with them. There's no use pointing out that their position is wrong or illogical or harmful. I always mention that the senior partner in the law firm that I once worked for had a sign on his desk said, "Don't confuse me with the facts, my mind is made up." That says a lot about people. So here we have Moshe gives them an assignment to the spies. Echazoku ha'im rafeh. Are the people there strong or are they weak? Abamachanim in the mivtzorim. Do they live open encampments, or they always have to live behind fortifications? And what about the land? Is it good? Is it fertile? Does it produce produce that's extraordinary? And Moshe, who knows the answer from an objective point of view. So Moshe says, "L'kachtem mipriores," bring back some of the fruit. And he sent them at a period of time, Vayomim Yemei Bikurei Anavim, beginning of the grape season, so they would have fruit to bring back. Rashi continues these ideas. Rashi says they came to the land of Israel and they saw many funerals that were taking place. So the spies interpreted that Eretz Ocheles Yoshvel, the land that eats up its citizens. There's a very high death rate. Kolev and Yoshua interpreted it that the Bona Shalom provided a diversion for them so that people would be busy with all of the funerals. Nobody would notice that there are these 12 guys in black hats walking around. The fruit that they brought back, so it says, "Vayisou b'amot b'shnoim." The fruit was so large and heavy, they had to carry it. 2 people, enormous clusters of grapes. It became the symbol of Israeli tourism. So the spy said, "You see what a crazy country this is. Look at that fruit. Look at the size of those grapes." Caleb and Yeshua said, look at the fruit, what a blessing. You know, a whole lunch on one grape. So it was all in the eye of the beholder, which it usually is. Especially when we are preconditioned to look at matters in one particular way or another. And when that gear is, so to speak, in place, so then it's unavoidable that predetermined conclusions will be reached, that nothing can sway them. I remember that when I was the head of the OU in the United States, so there was a period of time when Switzerland wanted to join the common market, the European Union, whatever. And then the common market raised the problem that Switzerland did not allow kosher shechita. They insisted that animals be stunned, which a long discussion on this. Yechiel Weinberg, the Sridei first volume of the Sridei, it contains that one question. Because the first law the Nazis imposed in Germany was that there would be no kosher shechita, the animals have to be stunned. So he was looking for a way that maybe through the halacha, we could have the animal stunned and then shechted. But it didn't resonate, and then became obvious that they were not protecting the animals, they just wanted to get rid of the Jews, which is really what Switzerland is also all about. So the Swiss sent an investigating committee, 6 people, to see. They never had seen kosher shechita in the United States. And the OU, our slaughterhouses, had the most modern equipment. The animal was killed standing upright, it wasn't hoisted. And I took them on a tour of the slaughterhouse. Now, there is no such thing as a nice slaughterhouse. It's a messy, gory, bloody business. Nevertheless, no one has ever reported back how the animal feels. And it's hard to assess pain. And in the process of shechita, from the time that the jugular vein and the trachea and the esophagus are severed by the knife, the animal basically bleeds to death. That's the cause of death. It takes between 5 and 6 seconds for a steer or a bull weighing 1,200–1,500 pounds. So these people who came to inspect were pretty squeamish. A number of them admitted later to me that they had never seen slaughter before, which seemed to be pretty strange if you're sending a select committee to decide whether slaughter is humane or not. You should send people that have no idea what they're talking about. But the report came back, as I knew it would, that the Jewish method is inhumane. The animal suffers. Certainly the animal suffers. There's no way to kill an animal nicely. And therefore, they declined eventually, not only for that reason, but for many other reasons. Switzerland has remained on its own. Say that the old bad joke that after creation, the Lord stepped back and looked at Switzerland and saw that it had such natural beauty, the Alps. Its location was strategic. It was a neutral country for 700 years. So it had everything. So in order to balance it, they gave them the Swiss. And there's a lot of truth in that. But they came with the idea that it was not going to be good, couldn't be good. If you come with that idea, it's never good. The spies came with that same mindset. For whatever reasons, I discussed it with you yesterday a little. Their subjective reasons for not wanting to go to Eretz Yisrael. But they didn't want to go. If they didn't want to go, no matter what they saw, only was going to confirm their viewpoint that it's a terrible place to go. We see that in the world as well. In our situation today, those who hate the Jewish people, including, unfortunately, elements of the Jewish people itself, there's nothing that we can do that's right. Even though the facts are clear, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, that makes no difference. But we made up our mind already. We're predisposed. It happens in the political world. People have set ideas, set opinions. Makes no difference what the fact will be. People don't change their minds easily. Because I'll say, Rishoyim afilu al pischa shel gehenam einam chosri b'tshuva. People have made up their minds that they're Rishoyim, even if they stand at the gates of hell, will not reverse their decision. So this story of the Meraglim, which is placed in the Torah, is meant to give us that lesson, that we should appreciate it. 10 people say it's terrible, 2 people say kitova or it's mod. They're looking at the same set of facts. They're not arguing over anything. No one said they brought back different fruit. But it's the predisposition that people had before they went that governs their opinion and governs the report that they would give upon their return to give the report to Moshe and to Klal Yisrael. So that's something we should bear in mind when we judge things and people on a regular basis. Try to keep a clear mind and look at the facts and not necessarily at what we think should be or ought to be or will be, but at what is. That is our task. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Yomer Ratzah Kodesh Baruch Hu v'Zakas Yisrael v'Lachir B'Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar Adonai Chafetz Aman Tzidko Yagdil Torah V'Yadi.